All right, sorry about that. I lost track of time, and I was trying to make sure I got all the details in the CBA in that first 15-minute segment, and I wasn't able to do it. I really hope somebody who joins in listening to this second one can tell me where I got cut off, because I kind of just went rambling there. But anyway, so I'll quickly recap where I think I might have gone over, which would have been the compensation picks. So if a player who declines their qualifying offer gets signed and it's more than $50 million, the team who lost him will receive a pick at the end of the first round or the second round, as long as they're not over the threshold. If they are the tax threshold, they will get moved to the fourth round. Plus, they will lose their second and fifth round highest draft picks, plus $1 million in the international pool. If a team from the 15 smallest markets, and to me that is a team like Houston, Minneapolis, Tampa Bay, if those teams like those, from those places with really small markets, not a whole lot of money to just throw around, they get their compensation pick at the end of the first round, as long as they're not over the tax threshold. So that's pretty much how that whole compensation goes. And if a player signs for under $50 million, the compensation pick will go to the end of the second round. So there's quite a bit of flexibility on stuff like that when you receive a qualifying offer, like just about every big name guy got. Guys like Encarnacion, Batista, trying to think who else is a really big name guy that everyone would know. But you get my concept here. All the top 10, top 15 free agents got the qualifying offer, because it used to be that I get compensated for it and you lose a draft pick. So if you want to sign somewhere else, fine. But they don't get their second highest pick or even first pick of the draft, as long as it wasn't in the top 10 picks. So that's where that goes. There's a little bit of gray area as well, but I mean, we just now released, and the MLB just now recently gave us all this information. So I'm sure more will clear up the more we get into it and things start falling into place. Another main thing, or no, I wouldn't say a main thing, but another thing that happened in this new CBA that I found kind of interesting, and the one thing that made the MLB unique, was the All-Star Game. And the All-Star Game used to be whoever won the National League or the American League, whoever won the All-Star Game, that side of the World Series got home field advantage. Which, to me, compared to the other two major American sports, basketball and football, that added that little bit of extra intensity. Made it that much more of wanting to watch. Because everyone knows in the NBA All-Star Game, there's no such concept of defense. It's how many dunks and how many cool plays can we do and how many points can we score. And there's no defense. There's no anything else involved. It's guys just taking turns, throwing up 45-footers from near half court. Big men just running the point, which I don't have a problem with. But running down the court, just slam dunking on nobody around, because that's just what the All-Star Game is. Everyone trying to one-up each other in the NBA. In the NFL, it's after the whole season. And then no one wants to get hurt because it doesn't mean anything. So you got offenses just throwing the ball around like the New Orleans Saints, but you'll have Antonio Brown, DeAndre Hopkins, Amari Cooper, Michael Crabtree as your receiving core. Guys that can all just do whatever the heck they want, and there's no consequence. No one's laying out hits. There's nobody laying the wood. There's nobody... I mean, you really got to throw it to the wrong team for interceptions to happen in the Pro Bowl, okay? And the NFL's tried to spice it up with their fantasy draft garbage that I think needs to go. But in baseball, you had to win that game. You had to, because that ensured you had 4 home World Series games if you made it that far. And you could say home field isn't a huge deal, especially if you look at this World Series that just ended when the Cubs won on the road. But it does make a huge difference. I'm a professional athlete, and I can tell you firsthand, being on the road, even if there's 15 people or 8,000 people, it's just not the same. You do feel a little uncomfortable. Yes, you're still playing baseball, and you still have the field, and everything as far as playing is the same, but there's just a whole different atmosphere. I mean, I've never played in front of 47,000 people or 60,000 or whatever MLB stadiums can hold, but I mean, even a 15-person crowd feels different than your home 15 crowd. So home field advantage is a huge deal, especially in my eyes, because I mean, that sets up, you can do what you get in your routine. You're at home, you wake up, you have your routine for your home games, you sleep in your own bed, you get to see your wife and kids, and you get to hang out with your family, and get home cooked meals and all this and all that. And now they took that away in this new collective bargaining agreement that was agreed upon last night. They took that away, and so now it's just a team with the best record. So it would have been the Cubs having home field advantage than the last World Series, which, I mean, you could say they had the advantage the whole time anyway. Whatever you want to say about it. Whatever you want to say about it. But, I mean, I thought that was a good way of making sure the game was competitive. It made people want to watch because you wanted to know. If my team, whatever it may be, in my case, it's the Braves. If the Braves were to make the World Series, and we all know the last couple of years they were nowhere near, but if they did, they would have gotten home field. And home field can be huge because, like I said, you're at your own house, you're at your own wherever, and you just get to do you and hang out and do your routine and keep everything the way you like it, instead of thinking about it too much, because you got to wake up in the hotel, you got to put your stuff on the bus, even though we know at the major league level they don't, but you got to make sure your stuff's there, you got to sleep in the uncomfortable hotel bed, you got to get breakfast, you got to do everything different and earlier because you're the road team. So it has a little bit of a different feel, and I really like the All-Star game importance of win to get your side of baseball home field. But since they took that away, I wonder how it's going to look. I feel like some managers aren't going to want to put their guys in certain situations because there's nothing for it. And you always had the first place team of a division as the manager who was a good playoff contender. So you just think, I mean, Joe Madden, next year's World Series or next year's All-Star game, it's a one-run ball game. If he's got the best record in baseball, he's not going to throw in our oldest Chapman in the ninth inning of the All-Star game just because. In last year, he would have, because he needs home field advantage. And next year, he's going to say, well, I'll go ahead and throw Aroldis Vizcaíno of the Braves because they're in third place and I'm in first, and who cares if we win, because if I have the better record at the end of the season, I get home field anyway. So I'm curious to see how that's going to turn out for baseball, and see what kind of July Classic, Summer Classic it's going to be for this coming and the next 5 years of the CBA being installed for the All-Star game. But that's pretty much my 20-minute, 20-minute rant, almost 30-minute rant, and talking about the CBA that was agreed upon, and I'm very happy because that no strike, no lockout, none of this funny business that the other two leagues seem to be going through every 4 or 5 years when theirs expires. Baseball's been able to keep theirs under wrap, under control for the last 21 plus years, and now add 5 more to it with this one. So that's pretty much it I've also heard of couple NBA rumors, but you know what? Today, as a baseball fan, was more about baseball and the CBA. I might create another quick segment here in the next few hours. If not, I'll just do it a big one tomorrow. Because, not every other sports need all the love too, because it's not just a one sport world. But today for me, it was all about the CBA. Tomorrow I'll talk a little bit more basketball and football. Side note, tonight you have a good Thursday night football game, Dallas Cowboys versus Minnesota Vikings. So tune into that. Tomorrow I'll probably recap it a little bit. So tomorrow will be an action-packed show. We'll try to go a little bit more than 15-minute increments here. I might be getting Spreaker Pro so I can go a little longer without having to create some segments. So that's pretty much it for today, and hopefully tomorrow we'll get into some more details about everything, including the CBA. Hopefully more details come out about that. But as of right now, that's all she wrote. I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. I'm TJ Perneda, and have a great rest of your day.